What's going on, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys, on the channel. And I'm so glad to be back on the channel, guys. I'm talking to you guys now throughout the rest of this season and with Manchester United and talking about United's games. Match day 1 has already been played, and yes, guys, as you can see from the title, I'm going to be predicting my predictions from the Premier League of where roughly I think where they're going to finish. So anyway, guys, let's get into today's video. Straight away, we're going to be talking from relegation zone up to first. 20th, I reckon Cardiff City. Why Cardiff City? Well, because yes, they've come into the Premier League. It's going to take them time to adapt to the Premier League. They have got some good signings by looking at my iPad right now. They have spent some okay money. Is it going to be enough for them to stay up in the Premier League for next season? I don't know, but I think Cardiff, for me, I don't think they're going to do well in the Premier League. It's going to take time to adapt to the Premier League. From being in the Champions League for years and years now, and coming into the Premier League, are they going to be ready for a new challenge? Are they going to be up for this? Let's see. It's going to be tough for Cardiff, but let's see what happens with Cardiff. But at the end of the day, sorry Cardiff fans, but I reckon that you're going to finish 20th. Coming 19th, I reckon Huddersfield Town. Now, Huddersfield, yes, they beat the likes of Manchester United last season. They brought in some very good signings, I must admit. They've brought in Ramadan Subhi from Stoke. They've also brought in Leicester as well. They've spent some good money, and they've also got Eric Durm, very good defender, and also they've got a new goalkeeper themselves, Ben Hammer from Leicester. But is it going to be enough for Huddersfield to stay up? Now, there's always this thing where in the Premier League where they'll have a good first season in the Premier League, but the second season they'll probably go down. So let's see what happens. They might prove me wrong, but let's see. I reckon that Huddersfield are going down. Sorry to the Huddersfield Town fans. I just reckon that you're going to finish 19th, really. 18th, I'm saying Brighton Hove Albion. Why Brighton Hove Albion? Well, just the same thing. They came up in the Champions. They had a very good league last year in the Premier League. But is it going to be enough for them to stay up in the Premier League? They have done business. They've brought some very good players in, I must admit, and they've spent quite a bit of money as well. But is it going to be enough for them to stay up this season? They have brought in David Button, but is it going to be enough for them to stay up? And looking at their team right now, it's good, but they've also got rid of Ajua. Is that a big loss, or what's going on there? Yeah, and they've also got a few guys on loan deals and also a few players abroad. It's going to take time for these guys to come from abroad to come into the Premier League. It's their first season in the Premier League. Are they going to adapt to the Premier League within a season? It's going to take them time, but really, sorry to the Brighton fans, I reckon that you guys are just going to be relegated at the end of the season. That's what I'm thinking, and everything is just coming from my head. I'm not going what my heart says, I'm going what my head says, really. So coming out just above the relegation zone, I reckon Southampton. Now, they got very lucky last season, I must admit, because they've lost a very good player, and that goes by the name of Tadic. Now, Tadic was a very good player, but he's now gone. He's left Southampton. Most of the Southampton team mostly left to go to Liverpool, and one or two players went to United. But is it going to be enough for them to stay up this season? Yes, they brought in Danny Innings from Liverpool. He's now gone back home. He's on a loan deal right now, but he's going to be making it permanent next year. So is it going to be enough for them to stay up? They brought in a new goalkeeper as well, Angus Gunn from Man City. They did need to sort out their goalkeepers because their goalkeepers weren't that great last season. So thank God they've actually sorted and got a new goalkeeper in, because that's what they needed as well. Also brought in a few other good players, Armstrong as well. They spent some very good money, but is it going to be enough for them to last the whole season, to stay in the Premier League for next season, or are they going to go down? But we don't know. They might prove me wrong, and let's see where they finish at the end of the day. Coming 16th, I reckon Newcastle. Now, why Newcastle? Because they've lost Dwight Gale. He's gone on loan now to West Brom. They lost Dwight Gale, but they also lost a few other players as well. They did bring in some very good other players as well, but we'll see how it all plans out for Newcastle. They had a very good season with Rafa Benitez last year. They finished 10th. Are we going to see it's going to happen again this season when they're going to finish 10th, or are they going to try and battle it and try and get in for Europa League for next season? I don't know. Newcastle are a very good team. They did beat us at St James's Park, but at the end of the day, we're not focusing on those games right now. We'll just have to see how the players get on throughout the season and if it's good enough for them. And they also brought in Key as well from Swansea as well on a free transfer. So I think that's a very good signing, because that's a good addition for them to bring in someone who was potentially going to have a future in national football and has now come up to playing with Newcastle. So I think that's good for him, playing for Newcastle, and then he can prove himself and get him some minutes as well. But at the end of the day, we'll have to see how Newcastle do throughout the season. I did predict Newcastle last season to come 14th, but are they going to come 10th? Are they going to come 16th? I don't know. I'm just going what my head says, and let's just hope I'm right, really. Coming 15th, I'm going to say Watford. Watford, they've brought in some very good players, I must admit. They've brought in the likes of Deulofeu from Barcelona. At least they got a good signing from Barcelona. They also brought in Ben Foster as well. They did need to get a new goalkeeper themselves because of Gomez. He was getting old and they needed a new goalkeeper, so at least they brought in another goalkeeper themselves. Well, I reckon Watford are going to come 15th just because the manager, I don't think he's going to... He will be a good addition to Watford because of Michael Silva. He went to Everton. They brought in another manager. I reckon that Watford will come 15th. They did come somewhere like 15th, 13th last season. Still got a very good team, but a big loss for them is Richarlison. But I think Watford got rid of him for some ridiculous amount of money. I don't think he's worth 50 million. But the amount of work he's putting in for Everton right now, he could be, because he's just putting in goals for fun, really. Coming 14th, I reckon Bournemouth. Now, Bournemouth are a very good team. By looking at Eddie Howe last season, he believes in the team that he's got right now. They did get rid of a few good players themselves, but they did get some very good signings themselves. I don't know their players. Is it going to be good enough for them to stay in the Premier League for next season? People are reckoning that they're going to get relegated at the end of the season. But is it going to be good enough for them to stay up? And does Eddie Howe have that belief in his squad to stay up for the Premier League next season? And I hope so, because Bournemouth are doing very well recently. Because they have that phrase as well, and they have that belief. So if he keeps doing what he's doing, Bournemouth could come out with some potentially a good place at the end of the day next season. But we'll see. Coming 13th, I reckon Crystal Palace. Now, they've not done many... Well, they have made a few good transfers. They've got Kouyaté from West Ham. Very good sign. Didn't spend a lot of money in this transfer window. And they also got Jordan Ayew on a loan deal to Crystal Palace. That's a very good addition as well, but considering he's on a loan, he's going to be going back to probably Swansea, but I think he might want to make it official at Crystal Palace so then he can get into, international football in his future as well. Swansea are in the Championship, and what really surprised me is that Jack Butland is still playing for Stoke. So, that's a bit unfortunate, but he's not going to be coming up into the Premier League, which is a shame because I like Jack Butland, and he's not coming up to the Premier League, and that's his own decision, really. Coming 12th, I reckon Leicester City. Now, Leicester City I got right last season. They finished 9th. The reason why I've put them 12th is because they lost Riyad Mahrez, and he went to City. They have brought in some very good signings themselves, and obviously Leicester played Manchester United first in the MatchDay 1, and this is me doing my predictions after MatchDay 1 as well. Did bring in James Maddison. He's a very good signing. They spent money in this window as well. They also brought in Danny Ward from Liverpool, and they also got in Johnny Evans, and also they got 2 new centre-backs because they thought that Maguire was on his way out, but I think that's probably a waste of money, but maybe it's a good addition to the team. But I think Leicester will probably come 12th at the end of the day because they've lost a very good player. They're not going to have that creativity this season. Yeah, I just reckon that they're going to come 12th, really. Coming 11th, I reckon Burnley. Not done a lot of business this transfer window, but it's not all about doing business in the transfer window. It's what Sean Dyche believes in. If he believes in his players that he's got right now, but are they going to survive? Because obviously they're in the Europa League now, and does he reckon that his team are going to stay up? But by the time they crash out of the Europa League, they might end up focusing on the Premier League then, because obviously they want to finish well in this Premier League, and they've got some very good players once again. They've brought in Joe Hart from Man City, obviously at City for like 12 years, so he bid farewell to Man City. Definitely gone now, so at least he's coming back into the Premier League now. He's not going abroad because obviously he needs to prove himself if he wants to be in the England squad as well. Also brought in Ben Gibson, so that's a very good signing once again. But I just reckon that Burnley are going to come 11th this season. Coming 10th, now this was big and a massive decision to make. Now I put West Ham. Now West Ham, they finished 13th last season. Now they've brought Manuel Pellegrini into the Premier League. Is it going to be enough for them? They will definitely stay up, I reckon. But now they've brought in some very good signings. They've done business as well. They've brought in some very good players. They've brought in Jack Wilshere. That's a very good signing. They've also got Fabianski from Swansea. Very good signing. They've also brought in Lucas Perez. Very good signing. They brought in Sanchez. So they've got some very good players after the loss of Kouyaté as well. So if West Ham have a good season under Manuel Pellegrini, they wanted someone who had Premier League knowledge. So that's what they wanted, and they got that. But will they improve this season? I think they will, but it's going to take them time to get used to their teammates and to get used to the style of play of how he plays and what his philosophy is, if he has a philosophy, you know, whatever managers have really. But yeah, I reckon West Ham are going to come 10th. Coming 9th, I think everyone's going to be a big shot to this, but I reckon Fulham are going to come 9th. Just because they've brought in some very good players. They've brought in Schürrle. We didn't expect Schürrle to come to Fulham. Bucci at Dortmund. They also brought in Alfie Morton from Swansea, very good signing once again. They also got Fosu Mensah on loan. They got Callum Chambers on loan. Done business in this transfer window. They've also got the likes of Mitrovic. That's going to be some big help for sure. They've got some big players in there. And if Fulham pull something out the bag this season, I reckon that they're going to surprise a lot of people this season. And I think people are going to be surprised what Fulham will have in their bag after that transfer window. Another one that's going to be a shock to everyone, 8th, I reckon, Wolverhampton. Why Wolverhampton? Because they're going to shock everyone this season. They've brought in Traore, very good signing. They've also brought in Afobe on loan. They've also got Rui Patricio. They've also got Montinho, very good signings, Wolves. If they keep on playing how they play, a very good result against Everton, 2-2. Are they gonna survive this Premier League? Are they gonna stay up? I reckon they will. They are gonna shock a lot of people, and I reckon Fulham are gonna shock people as well. People probably might think Fulham are probably gonna finish like the end of the relegation zone or near that mark really, but I think Fulham will probably shock people as well with their team that they've got right now after that transfer window. Coming 7th, I reckon Everton. Now Everton, they've done absolute business as well. They spent about 86 million on the likes of Mina, very good signing from Barcelona. He was going to come to Manchester United. Unfortunately, he went the other way. He went to Everton. Richarlison, very good signing as well. Lucas, very good signing once again. Gomez as well, and they also got Bernard on a free transfer. Done very good, Everton. I think Everton keep doing what they need to do. And they've also brought in Kurt Zouma as well. So they've done business. I reckon that Everton will probably do well this season. I reckon they'll probably get a Europa League spot, and they should deserve it. But is Marco Silva going to do well with Everton, or is he going to get sacked? You know, you guys know what happened at Watford. He was at Watford, then he got sacked. Is he going to be able to stay at Everton, or is he going to probably get the boot and leave? We've already seen that happen with Sam Allardyce, and is it going to happen to Marco Silva? Because they need someone that's going to succeed at Everton, and someone who is going to have that belief, that phrase for the players to keep going and to keep on top of it. And they've still got very good players at the end of the day. The likes of Theo Walcott in there as well. Big loss with Wayne Rooney going to DC United. But I reckon that Everton will probably get a Europa League spot, coming 7th. Coming 6th. This is it now, the top 6. Who do I think is going to come in the top 6? Here we go, guys. Coming 6th, I reckon Chelsea. Chelsea, just because they've brought in Siri, the new manager. Is he going to be able to adapt to this Premier League? It's his first season in the Premier League, but I don't think Chelsea will get that far up this season. He's also got Gianfranco Zola as assistant manager. He was Chelsea's manager at one stage, in his life, and also he was a Chelsea player himself. That's a good addition. They've also spent 123 million in this window in the likes of Kepa. the likes of Jorginho. I don't know how you say his name, from Real Madrid, but very good player. Sounds like he might be making a move to Chelsea, according to his Twitter account. Yeah, very good signings once again. But because I reckon that Siri's a new manager, he might do well at Chelsea, but I just don't think he'll do well in his first season at Chelsea, if you guys know what I mean. Coming fifth, this is big. I reckon Arsenal are going to come fifth. It's very good that they've got Emery in the team. They have done business once again. I like the fact how Arsenal have built their squad back up now. They didn't need some signings. They've got their signings. They've brought in the likes of Bern Leno, the likes of Sokratis, Torreira, Steiner and Matteo. So they've brought in some very good players abroad. But it's going to take them time to sort of adapt to the Premier League, obviously, as well. But I reckon that Arsenal will probably do well in their first Premier League back after getting rid of Wenger and obviously getting a new manager. And that's what all the Arsenal fans wanted. They just needed a new change, and they've got a new change now. They've got Emery in the team. Coming fourth, who is going to be in my top four? Coming fourth, I reckon Tottenham. Now, Tottenham, they've made no signings whatsoever. Now, this is what happened last season, where they made no signings whatsoever. Are they going to be able to be in the top four? Now, Mauricio Pochettino spoke out in his press conference, and he said, I don't need to make any more signings because I think the belief of the players that I've got right now, the players are doing well. They've still got Lamela, they've still got Son, they've still got Harry Kane, they've got Dembele, Eric Dyer, they've got some very good players in there, I must not lie. And also, United tried getting their centre-back, Toby Alderweireld. What didn't happen in the end, but gutting not to get him, and obviously it's very gutting for us not to sort out our centre-halves really, but at the end of the day, we'll have to deal with what the team we've got right now. Coming third, now people have been saying like United are going to come fifth, sixth. No, I've not mentioned Manchester United yet, and I'm going what my head is saying. Coming third, I reckon Liverpool. Now, why Liverpool are going to come third? Now, yes, Jurgen Klopp has done business in this transfer window. They've got some outstanding players, I must admit. They've got the likes of Mo Salah. They've got the likes of now bringing in Shaqiri, bringing in Fabinho, bringing in Alisson. Very good signings. By bringing in Keita. Very good signings. I think Liverpool are going to probably fit this season as well. And I think they're going to battle with the Premier League as well. And so are United as well. Just because based on how United can keep beating Liverpool all the time and every season. We've always been beating Liverpool non-stop, full stop. But I reckon Liverpool are going to come third. I think Liverpool are going to probably shock a lot of people this season once again. And they need to really up it. And the team that they had a few years ago, they've done business in this transfer window. And I think they've got a very, very, very good team at the minute. By bringing Alisson, it was needed. After what happened in the Champions League, it was needed for them. I've not mentioned City or United. I'm going what my head is saying. I'm not going by what my heart is saying. I'm going by what my head is saying. Coming second, I reckon it's going to be Manchester United. Just because, based on our signings, they're very good. Fred's a very good signing, I must not lie. Dalot is a very good signing as well. I think by getting a new left-back is what we needed, because obviously Ashley Young is on his way out nearly. Luke Shaw just coming together recently and getting a good goal himself, and I think he's probably going to surprise some people this season. But yeah, Fred a very good signing, and he's going to be filling in what Michael Carrick's position, a holding midfield but also an attacking midfielder as well. So if we get more out of Fred, he could be a very good addition to our team as well. Who is coming first? You've heard it, guys. Man City for me. I reckon that they're going to boss it again this season. Now, based on Man City's team, someone in their team is going to be frustrated, annoyed, because they won't be getting the game time that they had last season. Because Riyad Mahrez said he can play anywhere. He can play right, centre or left. Now he plays Arne, Gundogan, and he plays Aguero, Jesus as strikers, and then on the right he plays Aldo Silva and Sterling. Someone is going to be frustrated that they're not going to be getting the minutes this season. A very good signing with Mahrez is going to fit in very well in City's team, but someone is going to be frustrated and annoyed that they're not going to be getting the game time that they wanted from last season. Yeah, that's what I reckon in my predictions. I reckon that Man City are going to win the season, but we need Manchester United to battle with the Premier League this season, and we need to do something this season, and we need to challenge for this season as well, because we are not letting those blue cunts getting 100 points this time round, because that was out of order, so we need to cut that out. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed another video. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you guys in a video hopefully in the next couple of days, and peace.